And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Do me a favor, hit subscribe, watch, comment, keep the comments coming and share with your friends because I promise you, there's not going to be one day where the insanity doesn't continue. Now, meanwhile, yesterday morning, ahead of Trump's trip to the Middle East, ABC reported that Trump was planning to accept a gift. No, you can't make this up. He was planning to accept a gift from the royal family of Qatar, a super luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet with a value of in excess of $400 million. Now, we're going to get into the complexity of this announcement, but this is what Trump had to say on Truth Social last night in defense of himself. In it, he turns around and he says, so the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world-class losers. MAGA. Now, let me be very clear about something. We're talking about a foreign country providing to America, think about this, Air Force One, an airplane that the president is continuously on, that the most serious and significant issues are being discussed. It is transporting not just the president and in some respects the vice president and in other respects the entire cabinet, but also the press corps. And you're going to allow a foreign country to provide you with an aircraft that could be outfitted with listening devices, considering today with nanotechnology, it's so small that you wouldn't even know that it's there. And worse than that, what if they actually have a kill switch because something's going on, between the United States and Qatar. And while they're flying over the ocean, I don't know, they kill the engines. I mean, think about that. There's a reason why Air Force One should be built by an American company only using American technology. It's what's been done in the past for obvious reasons. Meanwhile, Caroline Leavitt, what does she do? She goes running on to Fox News in order to discuss the plane. Play that clip.
Clarify that Qatar is giving us a new Air Force One as a personal gift to President Trump. Are they gifting it to the country? What could you tell us about this luxury liner that looks like a hotel on the air?
Well, the Qatari government has graciously offered to donate a plane to the Department of Defense. The legal details of that are still being worked out. But of course, any donation to this government is always done in full compliance with the law. And we commit ourselves to the utmost transparency, and we will continue to do that.
Do you worry that if they give us something like this, they want something in return?
Absolutely not, because they know President Trump and they know he only works with the interests of the American public in mind.
So you do know that once, of course, Air Force One, which is currently behind schedule, and I don't understand that either, becomes available, this one then goes to Trump after he leaves the White House and can ultimately be used by him as well as donated to his presidential library. Is that for him or is that for the country? Now, let me show you what ABC initially reported. In it, they turned around and they said, Trump administration poised to accept Palace in the Sky as a gift for Trump from Qatar. Those by sources. Luxury jumbo jet is to be used as Air Force One, sources told ABC News. Further, it turns out and says, in what may be the most valuable gift ever extended to the United States from a foreign government, the Trump administration is preparing to accept a super luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet from the royal family of Qatar, a gift that is to be available for use by President Donald Trump as the new Air Force One until shortly before he leaves office, at which time, get a load of this, at which time ownership of the plane will be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation, sources familiar with the proposed arrangement told ABC News. The gift had been expected to be announced next week when Trump visits Qatar on the first foreign trip of his second term, according to sources familiar with the plans. But a senior White House official said the gift will not be presented or gifted while the president is in Qatar this week. It continues and it says, Trump had previously toured the plane, which is so opulently configured, it is known as a flying palace, which it was parked at the West Palm Beach International Airport in February. Further, anticipating those questions, sources told ABC News that lawyers for the White House counsel's office and the Department of Justice drafted an analysis for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, concluding that it is legal for the Department of Defense to accept the aircraft as a gift and later turn it over to the Trump Library, and that it does not violate laws against bribery or the Constitution's prohibition, it's called the Emoluments Clause, of any U.S. government official accepting gifts from any king, prince, or foreign state. Further, the article turns around and says sources told ABC News that Attorney General Pam Bondi and Trump's top White House lawyer, David Warrington, concluded it would be legally permissible for the donation of the aircraft to be conditioned on transferring its ownership to Trump's presidential library before the end of his term, according to sources familiar with their determination. And finally, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a statement to ABC News, any gift given by a foreign government is always accepted in full compliance with all applicable laws. President Trump's administration is committed to full transparency, Leavitt added. Now, again, you may have just seen in the clip that I showed you, very different what she said when she was speaking on the lawn of the White House versus what she's saying to ABC. Let me be clear. This gift is not to the United States of America. This is not to our government. This is a roundabout way of giving Trump a $400 million plus aircraft. Now, in other plane-related news, last 2 weeks, abso-freaking-lutely horrible for Newark Airport, with all forms of technological issues and communication system glitches. Well, yesterday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, he warned that these issues aren't fixed yet and that they could expand to other areas of the country. Play that clip.
The Congress and the country haven't paid attention to it, right? They expect it to work. And so now I think the lights are blinking, the sirens are turning, and they're saying, listen, we have to fix this, because what you see in Newark is going to happen in other places across the country. It has to be fixed. And so what we're having is some telecom issues, but we're also having some glitches in our software. As the information comes in, it's overloading some of our lines and the system goes down. So I'll just tell you specifically in Newark, we believe we're going to have it up and running in short order. We're going to be able to fix that glitch, and we feel a little more comfortable about our primary line that gets the data in on radar, and our redundant line is up and working as well.
Big picture.
Yeah, listen, let me be clear. From a guy who flies out of Newark all the time, my family flies out of Newark all the time. Yeah, I'm really I'm really concerned. This is no joke. But Duffy also goes on and tries to claim that Elon and Doge aren't to blame. Let me remind you of their cuts. Play the clip.
Let me ask you, because as you are dealing with this crisis, Elon Musk and Doge, as you know, have been making cuts at the FAA. And I think a lot of people are wondering, have these cuts made this situation worse? Have they increased the challenges and the potential safety concerns?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in the safety mission of the FAA, like air traffic controllers, no one was cut. We actually have staffed up. We've hired more air traffic controllers during this time. There were probationary workers that were let go. Those are employees who were there less than a year, and again, we excluded the safety positions. Most of them have come back. So again, to say the FAA has 46,000 employees. And if you lost 350, is this affecting our safety mission? There's a lot of things the FAA does, but for us, safety is key. So no, we've retained all those safety positions.
Yeah, by the way, not true at all. And then again last week, Duffy tries to blame the Biden administration for these issues. Now, I don't think that Trump is at fault here. I do not, for this old-fashioned system. Let me also go on and explain that the system that they're using right now is antiquated. How do you know it's antiquated? It was developed in the late 60s. I think like 1965, 66, 67. We're using the same system that they used and designed in the late 60s. Now, of course, there's been technological enhancements and that they've made certain improvements to it, but it is an old system. So I'm not really sure how any of this is productive to deflect and try to blame it on Biden when, again, how many presidents preceded Biden that didn't enhance the system? Play the clip.
It's failing, you have to take action. They did absolutely nothing. The Biden administration, remember this, Sean? They spent $1.2 trillion on infrastructure in America. $1.2 trillion. None of it went to fix the air traffic control system, which is...
By the way, that's true. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. I don't see a report on it that said where the 1.2 trillion went. I do know for a fact that much of that $1.2 trillion went to rebuilding bridges and roads and tunnels all across America, as well as our rail lines. So I'm not 100% sure Duffy himself knows exactly what he's talking about. My friends, this is why I constantly say to you, you can't imagine how important it is to be a part of this community. So I ask you again, subscribe, watch, comment, keep these comments coming, and share. Share this platform with your friends and family. And as always, thanks for listening.
Hey everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.